Okay. I think we are up and running. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Todd Keisling, and you are watching Beneath the Lake. This is our second official video cast, and we have some very special guests for you today. And if I seem a little distracted, it's because we had some issues last time, and I'm kind of hoping that they don't replicate. So if you are watching us and you can't hear us, please say so in the chat. And from here, I'm going to introduce our guests. So joining me today are some editors, authors in their own right. We have Ben Eads, we have KATE Jones, and we have Monique-Snyman joining us. So I'm going to take it over to them, let them introduce themselves. Ben, we'll start with you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Ben Eads. I've been writing horror short fiction and longer fiction since I was about 7 years old, much to the teacher's chagrin. I really fell in love with horror at a very young age. I remember watching John Carpenter's Halloween when I was 4 years old, and I scared the daylights out of me. And when I was 7, I watched Hellraiser. I couldn't make it past the first 5 minutes, and that's probably responsible for what messed me up. Yeah, I actually took writing seriously in 2008, and by that I mean actually submitting stories. And I found some really good homes, and last year, January, I had my first novella, Crack Sky, published through Omnium Gatherum, which is owned and operated by the amazing KATE Jones. And that sums it up. And I'll be editing Tales from Lake Volume 4, which opens for submissions this November for Crystal Lake Publishing.
Right on. KATE, how about you?
Hi, I'm KATE Jones, and I'm a dark fantasy author. I've been nominated for the Bram Stoker twice and the Shirley Jackson once. And I'm also the editor at Omnium Gatherum, which publishes dark fantasy, weird fiction, and horror. And we've got a lot of books nominated for awards, and this year we're going to win one. I just have a good feeling. And that's it for me.
Right on. Monique?
Hi, I'm Monique-Cherie, and I am the editor of Tales from the Lake Free, but I'm also the editor basically at Crystal Lake Publishing when Joe doesn't have enough hands. I'm the author of Muti Nation, which is also published by KATE. Hi, KATE. And that's about it. Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, and I live in South Africa. That's why the accent.
It's okay. Well, I'm very, very glad you guys could join me today. This is awesome. I feel like we have almost like the Tales from the Lake think tank here. Like you guys are running volume 3, which just came out, by the way. And those of you who are watching on YouTube, there is a link in the show notes down below. You can see there's several links actually. There's a link to buy volume 3 on Amazon, which has one of KATE's stories, right? That KATE, you do have a story in volume 3. Okay. Effigy. And
good.
Also, those of you who may be watching a recording of this later on, if you would like to participate in the chat in real time with us when we broadcast live, you can pledge $1 a month. As just you can pledge more if you want. Please, we'll take your money gladly. But it only costs $1 a month to support Crystal Lake's Patreon page, and just $1 gets you in the door to participate with us in chat. Matter of fact, Crystal Lake Publishing, aka Joe, says that we are coming through loud and clear, 100% perfect, which means yay! I don't get fired. Woo! And Dave DeBerg says, "Hey Todd, hey Dave, thank you for joining us." And so, yeah, there's also a sign up for Crystal Lake's newsletter if you are so inclined, and please do, because lots of interesting updates Joe will be pushing out in the near future. But
we have big plans.
Yes.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Cool stuff is happening.
It's like the Emperor. Everything's going according to my design.
Pretty much. I am very impressed with this small press. It is definitely coming up to the top as one of the better small presses in the horror field. Like, good work. I'm really happy to have a small part in being in an anthology. It was really great.
Yeah.
It was great to have you submit something, because I've heard about you before. I've read some of your stuff, and when I saw your name pop up, it was just after I sent my submission your way, and I was like, okay, let's see. And when I read it, and it's like, yeah, sure did.
I'm glad it was good, because I had just accepted your submission, so that would have been awkward.
I love your story, but by the way, it's shit, so sorry. Yeah, we hope to hear a lot more from you, Kate. We hope to see some more work from you. You also had a short story in Ellen Datlow's Best New Horror, is that correct?
I did. Yay!
Congratulations!
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kate, she's a rising star, guys. Be on the lookout.
I was thrilled to be in that, but even if my story wasn't in that, you've got to read that.
No,
book.
she's amazing.
There are amazing stories Ellen has chosen for this
She's
year.
one of the best editors, I think, probably the best. Her and Anne Vandermeer are like two of the best.
Yeah, Paula Garan does a really good job too, and Steve Jones over in the UK. They all do the best of the year books.
Yeah.
Make sure to read them all. It's like taking a lesson in short story writing. It's
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you look at some of the best of horror volumes that she's edited, and it's a who's who of the top of the horror field. I mean, some of my favorites are in there consistently. Laird Barron, Stephen Graham Jones, you name it. And now Kate Jones. Congratulations, seriously. That is awesome.
yeah,
Very happy for you.
yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that's everyone's dream.
Yeah.
I almost fell out of my chair when I got the email. It's like, what? Me? Oh my God. Check this off the to-do list.
I would have to pinch myself. I'd be like, this is not reality.
Yeah, it was very cool.
So, speaking of editing, let's talk about Tales from the Lake. What was the experience like, Monique?
It was a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
There were so many submissions, and I had to read through hundreds of them. So I just said, well, I'm going to do 10 a day, because the submission period was relatively long. And when I got near the end of the submission period, there was like 100 extra coming in, and I was very smart and said, no, everybody will find out if they're in or not a month later. That was a bit difficult. But eventually I got everything done and shortlisted like 50, and then I had to reread those 50 again and shortlist again. And yeah, I couldn't pick just 19 stories, because I was already over with 19. It was already a bit shady word count wise. And then I just begged Joe, please, these other 4 stories need to be somewhere. And we decided, well, we're going to put them on the website instead. And
Nice.
so they're companion pieces to the book. But it was so much fun to meet some of these authors, not face to face, but to speak to them. And because Kenneth W. Kane, I've been a fan of his for a while as well. I like his horror. And so when he sent something in, it was like, oh yeah, Kenneth W. Kane sent something in. I'm getting somewhere with my editing career, you know. And there were newbies. Natalie Carroll, for example, she's 19 years old, and
Wow.
to edit a story from somebody as young as when I was starting out as well. So yeah, it was an experience and I enjoyed it immensely, but I'm not going to do it again.
I'm just laughing at the hell that awaits me.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks. If you don't hear from me for 3 months, well.
So I have a general question. This is for all of you because you've all, you know, edited anthologies or will be editing anthologies. You know, Ben, I know you're doing volume 4 coming up next year.
Yep.
So this is out of my own curiosity because I myself I don't identify as an editor. I've only ever done one editing gig, and that was for Anthony Rapinoe's collection that's coming out next month.
Great collection.
So, yes, I agree.
What's the title of that one?
The title is called Greetings from Moon Hill, and it's by Anthony J. Rapinoe. It's coming out through my own press, Precipice Books, on a very special limited edition hardcover. That's the book I showed you guys the other day.
Show us now.
I'm sorry?
Can you show us now?
Oh, certainly. Just give me 1 second because I don't have it. You can actually kind of see it. It's like up. It's right there. Do you guys see that book right there? It's right there. But hold on a second. I'll get it.
Okay, now that Todd's gone and he's not listening, let's implement Plan B.
I hope I don't get in trouble with Joe for showing off a non-Crystal Lake book on air. But this is the slipcase that Tony designed, the medallion, and this is the book, Greetings from Moon Hill. I wrote the foreword. My wife designed the cover. I did some of the illustration work, including the map of the town.
Really pretty.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
I know,
yeah.
I want it.
Yeah, you immediately want to buy a copy. You're like, wow.
So, Joe, sorry they asked me to show it off. I don't mean to do cross-promotion there, buddy. But going back to my question, though, as far as, like, editing goes, like, how could you describe, you know, the editing process for an anthology as opposed to editing a story? Because I kind of get the impression that there's two different styles of editing. Like when you're editing an anthology, you're basically picking and choosing the pieces that are going to go into it that best fit the theme versus, you know, are you also going through each story and, you know, checking for grammar, checking for developmental consistencies or inconsistencies, that sort of thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, if I find a story, I kind of do a combination of both with an anthology. If the story fits the theme and it's not quite there, I'll work with the author to get it where it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing for me, but Joe taught me something, well, as a writer. And when I was editing this anthology, I was looking for the same thing. Start with the action. A short story doesn't start with the action relatively early. You're not going to read that story. And that's what I was looking for at first. The grammar and punctuation and stuff like that, I can fix that. I can fix the plot holes, but I can't rewrite a whole story for you. That was what I was looking for. So, yeah.
Okay. Ben, what about you? Like, what do you... I apologize for not doing my homework, but have you edited anything prior to volume 4 coming up, or?
Well, my cat has edited, and my cat will be editing volume 4.
Okay.
I trust my cat. What I do is I publish, or I print every story from my printer. If the cat paws at the story as the pages are coming out, I accept it. I've been told my cat has made some good decisions. Actually, this will be my first full-fledged anthology that I'll be editing. Prior to this, I've edited novels, novellas, short fiction, where they've found homes at Cemetery Dance, Dark Discoveries, Dark Regions Press. Of course, the writer has to bring the magic for that to happen, though. So for me personally, what I'm looking for when it comes to Tales from the Lake Volume 4 is the very best of the best of the best. And later on, we will be announcing who will be headlining Tales from the Lake Volume 4, which is going to really galvanize everyone. But we are looking for stories that arrest us, within the first sentence or two, okay? We want to have a good, diverse collection. We want to have something in there for everybody. Again, looking for the foundational elements. Do I care about these characters? Are these characters just characters, or are they people that readers can actually believe in? And because this is a horror anthology, we have to be honest here. The story has to, at the very bare minimum, send a chill up your spine, make your hair stand up, or in fact scare you. And I'm happy to say that we have already received a short story that I'll reveal later on, which is actually scary. And if you are a fan of horror, you know how hard it is to be scared. It's very difficult to actually get scared. And this particular story had me, it gave me nightmares. So we're looking just for the best stories, great characters, great atmosphere, great character arcs, something that might speak to a reader's depths, and that's what we're looking for. Now, should a writer fail to amp up the emotion here, or if the author forgets to layer something a little bit more into the story, like Monique and Kate have said, I'm more than willing to work with that particular writer to get the story 100%. But, we're really looking for the best of the best of the best. And bring your A game. You're going to have to. Once we announce the headliners, you'll know immediately you have to bring your A game. So.
Yeah, I'm going to have to second that, because being the host of the show, I get to be privy to some super secret information, and all of you readers out there who are looking forward to the next volume, it's going to blow your fucking minds. So, that's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Sorry. I was just looking at the comment section. Dave is there, Dave the Berg.
Uh-huh.
He was also in Tales from the Lake 3. I just want to say hi to him.
Oh, awesome.
And he's
Hello.
also South African.
Nice.
I told you
Nice.
we know each other. We know all of the authors in South Africa.
I just hope I still have writer friends after I've sent out all the rejections.
Oh, don't worry. Monique knows a little bit about that, doesn't she?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Todd.
It's okay. It's all right. I just like giving you a hard time about it. It's all in good fun, I promise. So,
No, it's fine. It's fine. Next time when you do something, no, Monique. I don't like her. She rejected me once.
it's like if I ever get tapped for to do a Tales from the Lake anthology as an editor, I guess I'll all right, well who's automatically on the no list? Oh, Monique. Wow. I don't care
I was
if it's,
actually thinking of splitting to Ben as well. And then I thought, well, there is a story I really want to submit, but wouldn't it be weird? May I blurb the book as well then? No, that's the thing.
I really, man, I wish I had time. I'm still working on my next novella, and I wanted to submit something to Volume 3, but, you know, I missed that boat.
That's
Maybe
okay.
next time. Perhaps from the Lake Forest opening up, you could maybe send something there.
And then you can reject it, so that'll be awesome. Awesome, thank you.
So, in the on the topic of rejections, since we're talking about pulling the anthologies together and whatnot, when it comes to rejections, like what would you say is probably the worst rejection you've ever sent? Like, is it did you get nasty, or was it just a form rejection, or did you just not send a rejection, you just left the writer hanging? I'm just curious.
Oh, the worst one I've ever given?
Yes.
Oh, well, you can never really say what's on your mind. Like, are you crazy? Why did you put this on paper? Or, well, that was in English. But, way to punctuate.
Well, I'm glad you got your native language down. That's a good job, buddy. Good job.
So, form rejection. You can't say what's on your mind because.
Is that what you thought about my book?
Well,
Way to go, Monique. My language is, I don't know what you say, but it's native.
like, you see like the rejection slips that some of the the writer legends from like 50 years ago either received or something to that effect, and it's like the editors were blatantly just like, this is the worst thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
So like, does that still happen? Do rejections like that still get sent out, or is it in these more?
We're all too close now.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen King still gets rejections. Bentley Little posted, I think 2 months ago, about him getting rejections. So even, the best in the field get rejections, and it could be for, again, like the other editors that pointed out earlier, maybe that particular story did not fit the theme.
Right, but nobody's nasty about it, really. I mean, there may be a couple of people out there that will just say exactly what they think of your story. I know a friend of mine once was told, your story has too many orphans and widows, and he had no idea.
Really?
No, I want to read it.
Too many orphans and widows? Like,
It's
me, that's what I dislike. It's a pet peeve. I start reading a book and there's too many orphans, and I'm like, you know what?
that's not the writer's fault. That's the layout person. That's the book designer's.
That always makes me laugh when he tells us.
Too many orphans and widows. Wow. Wow. That's that.
I haven't sent out I think ever, because I received a few mean ones in the past. These publishing houses have closed down ever since then, but really mean, and then I just decided, no, I will not be a mean editor. And even my form rejection sounds very chatty and nice.
Well, because the people will hunt you down and give you 1-star reviews if you say offensive things to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I never even thought about that. That's true.
So let me flip this around then. So when you do have to send a rejection, like, do you always try to mention something positive, something encouraging? Because
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
no.
Sorry, not right for me. I don't have time to go into a big, long explanation about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking with the submissions that we're going to receive with Tales from Lake Volume 4, it depends on where the writer is at in their career. And like Kate just mentioned, if I write 1,000-word synopsis and edit their story for them, I don't have time to read for the anthology. I'm going to keep them short and sweet. You know, I will mention something positive, you know, but other than that, I really don't want to get into it, because then you're going to develop, they're going to write you back, and then they're going to want to know more information about it. And what I would recommend is for anyone who wants to submit to any anthology, okay, regardless of whose anthology it is, use beta readers, okay? Have beta readers that are very good at what they do. You can even go one step further, and I highly recommend this, and actually pay a professional editor like these two to edit your story before you submit it. Because trust me on this, folks, your chances of getting this story accepted are going to increase dramatically if you have someone like Monique or Kate edit the story before you send it to the press.
That's very good advice. I will second the need for beta. I would say before you submit anything anywhere, always have beta readers. You know, look it over, get feedback, listen to their feedback. Don't just, you know, and if they say, yeah, I love this, no, don't accept that as an answer. What did you not like about this story? What did you not like? And, you know, hone in on that. That's your job as the writer to do. You know, you want to make sure you're telling the best story you can. And if someone tells you, yeah, I loved it, and they leave it at that, don't take it at face value. They're fucking lying.
I have a wonderful writing group. Sorry, go ahead. I said I have a wonderful writing group, and every story goes through them before I even let it out in the wild. I wouldn't even feel right about submitting a story without putting it back in the group first.
Yeah.
Can I join that group, Kate?
$1,000.
Wow.
No.
Let me just go to a cash machine.
Todd, your voice is getting crackly, sir.
Yeah.
My voice is crackly?
Yeah, it's getting
Is it still crackly?
Yes, sir.
What about now?
I thought it was me.
That's something I can't fix.
Okay, you're all right now.
Am I okay?
It's back.
No,
Can you hear me okay?
that's creepy.
Yeah,
That's like a perfect voice.
Hey, Todd, do me a favor. Repeat the following. I don't know who you are,
I don't know who you are.
but I have a very specific set of skills.
But I have a very specific set of skills.
Skills that would make...
Sorry, that was my creeper voice. It's like I need this. Shh, let it happen. Just let it happen.
It's almost over. It's almost over.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going inside.
So people in the chat are saying that it sounds fine on their end. So I don't know. Maybe the problem's you guys. That's all I'm saying.
Bad Ben. That's a very bad Ben.
So
Oh, boy.
Now, here's
okay.
something I would like to say. If I do accept a story for Tales from Lake Volume 4, I will call your house and I will do my Cartman from South Park impersonation for you. That's the added perk. You get to hear Eric Cartman.
Now I want to hear Eric Cartman.
No, you don't. Now, Todd, we have to talk about this, okay? Seriously? Like, you have this show, and my mom came in, and I'm like, man, but I want to watch this show, man.
Sorry. As good as it gets.
I got nothing.
That's very good.
I'm honestly impressed by that. That was really good. Well done.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines is, remember when Cartman took his mom to Best Buy to buy him an iPad?
Go ahead, Mom. Just screw me right here in front of the Best Buy.
Wow.
Back to business.
All right. So we talked a little bit about editing. Probably bored some people to tears on the editing front. So, but you're also, all of you are also writers in your own respect. So when it comes to your process, how do you get in the groove of things? Do you have a ritual? Do you have to like lift weights, or do you put on some music, or I don't know. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you get into the mood to write? And in that respect, I mean, you're not always in the mood to write. I know I'm not, but you kind of have to sometimes. So
If I tell you, promise not to laugh.
I won't.
I listen to a lot of rap music.
That's awesome.
I'm a big fan of rap music. Everything from 50 Cent, well, not Kanye. I can't stand Kanye. Rap music always gets me in the mood for writing. It's poetry, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Like, I'm imagining you like sitting down with NWA playing behind, overhead.
And most of my stuff, sometimes I write romance scenes, and people think I listen to. I'm not a romance writer too, but sometimes I have to write these scenes, and people think I listen to pop music, but I listen to pop music when I'm down, not when I'm writing romance scenes.
I'm not sure you really want to call those romance. I'm not sure.
Well, erotica. I also research erotic scenes.
She does a really good job.
It's not, actually you should compliment my fiance for those. He does a really good job in the research department.
Really. Yeah, they seem very true to life.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into why.
We can figure it out.
Well,
You'll probably see a boost in sales after this broadcast.
let's test Monique, her rap street cred. Okay, finish this line. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. That's the end of the line, isn't it?
Well, what's the next line that comes after that?
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god.
All my
That's
people.
I can't rap for you. I listen to it. I can't sing it.
Oh, come on.
It's the fast. That's like the fastest rap song ever.
We could get sued, right? I mean, if we actually start.
Not sued, but YouTube could probably just like mute the stream automatically because.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I think it's fine if you guys are doing it, but if we were to actually play the music itself, yeah, they would mute it.
And we won't get sued because they need 30 seconds before anybody can get sued, music-wise.
Okay.
So we can sing 30 seconds.
Joe at Crystal Lake in the chat says metal and rock all the way, and I'm inclined to agree. Rap's not my thing, but
You
I was surprised when I heard Joe liked Iron Maiden. He's not the type of person I would have from Iron Maiden.
I wouldn't say he just likes Iron Maiden. He loves Iron Maiden.
Okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So
you guys would be pretty surprised at what's in my playlist. I have the Beatles, I have Zeppelin, I have Eminem, I have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pussifer. That's a band not a lot of people know about.
I like
Tool.
Pussifer.
Yeah, Tool. Zeppelin. I mean, Pink Floyd. But what I do is, like with Cracked Sky especially, and what I'm doing with my next novella, I have a special playlist, and I pick certain songs, okay? And like for Cracked Sky, the playlist began with Telling Ghosts by Pussifer.
It's a great song.
And that really captured the haunted, mindset of the main character. Not that I'm a method writer, but I do try to find music that in some way, shape, or form either contrast, because it's weird, I'm writing this really dark scene and then the Beatles come on, Maxwell Silverhammer came down, so it's kind of odd, or Robert Plant is, does anybody remember Laughter? And I'm writing some horrific shit. But yeah, I mean, it's really weird. I'm very eclectic when it comes to music, but I have to have music. I have to put my headphones on. It allows me to shut the door, say fuck off to the external world, and do some writing. So
yeah, I'm the same way. Kate, what about you? What are your writing rituals?
So I managed to schedule myself this year so that with a huge publishing schedule and being co-chair for StokerCon in next April. So my writing time is really precious. I have to I get 2 hours every morning before I do everything else, so I have to get up a little early to do it. And so I don't always want to do that first thing in the morning, but just kind of have to force it. I did learn a new trick this year that has really, I think, bumped my stories up a notch. It's find the thing that you are really ashamed of and confess it in the story. Let the character have that thing. My God, you should try it. It really works. Something you're embarrassed, you would never tell anyone. It really brings the stories to life, makes them honest. So there's a tip.
Gonna write
Don't
that
everyone
down.
use it, because then my stories won't stand out.
Kate,
that's brilliant.
About that, 3 months ago, and I implemented it, and believe it or not, it really gave some new life to what I'm working on right now. So, you guys, I'm living proof.
Right, I didn't tell you about that.
That's a really good idea. I mean,
I've got to go out and do some more bad stuff that I'm ashamed of now. So there's that bonus too.
Well, I grew up in Kentucky. I'm pretty ashamed of that. I guess I could write that in my story.
That's a pretty short story, Todd.
No, trust me. I've spent a lifetime mining the hell out of that one. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm still mining my childhood in Texas. The South and it's a huge well of darkness.
Oh, I agree.
Everything I write is in the South, and here you guys are talking about the South. I'm like, wow, okay, I'm not alone. Cool.
That's a really. Go ahead. What were you
Like
gonna
when
say?
Kate and I had our first video conference, she goes, "You don't have an accent." Remember?
I know. I thought he was Southern.
Wow. Yeah, I can kind of hear. I can kind of hear it a little bit in your voice. A little bit.
Thanks, Todd.
As someone who spent his teenage years in the South, I can hear it. It's there.
I'll abide that.
I worked so hard to get rid of my accent.
Somebody in the chat asked, "What's wrong with Kentucky?" Well, we
It's finger licking good.
it's no, it's really not. We don't have that kind of time. Like, I could probably go spend hours telling you what's wrong with Kentucky. And it's funny you mentioned the finger licking good thing, Monique. I grew up in the town where I grew up in the town where Kentucky Fried Chicken actually started. So
here's the Colonel's outfit.
No, I'm serious. Like they have, so they have the KFC that's in Corbin, Kentucky, hometown. The KFC that they have is like has been remodeled to look like a museum of the gas station that Harlan Sanders worked at when he perfected the recipe. So
I think you just encapsulated what's wrong with Kentucky.
Yep, that's it. That's it. That's everything that's fucking wrong with it.
I would so go there. I would make a road trip to that.
Oh, Kate.
I'd take like the corner of the sleeve and lick it and be like, is some of the original recipes still on there?
Probably. I mean, no, seriously, it's like, you ever see that episode of The Simpsons where they take the grease and they wipe it on the walls and it turns the walls transparent? It's like that inside there because they're constantly deep frying this shit. So it's just everything is, you could just rake your finger down the wall and it would come away with just covered in grime. They have like a giant statue of the Colonel sitting on a bench. They have a plaque out front. You drive by, you see people standing there with their phones and shit, taking pictures.
You forgot one thing though, Todd. You forgot Wilfred Brimley's there, and he's talking about diabetes.
So did you ever work in?
What was that, Kate?
Did you ever work in a chicken place?
I didn't. That's fast food is one of the things I've never done because I know my limitations, and that would be a waste of everyone's time. I've had a lot of jobs.
Too much.
What, Ben?
You'd be hanging out at the museum too much, and your boss would be like, Todd, you need to get back to work. These chickens aren't going to fry themselves.
Maybe that's why I have an aversion to chickens. I like eating chickens, but chickens as an animal, no thank you. But that's been documented elsewhere, I think.
Write a horror story about chickens. That's not been done before, I think.
There you go.
That's
There's the challenge. Somebody write a horror story. Make chickens
If you
scary.
said something like
Hey,
that to from the last three, I would have accepted it.
You know, if my friend Nikki Nelson Hicks is watching, I can actually say that she'd made chicken scary. She has a southern pulp noir. I forget how she described it, but it's basically the first book in her Jake Ishtenhegi series. A chick, a dick, and a witch walk into a barn. That's the first novella, and it's about these evil mutant chickens. It's fucking terrifying. It's great. It's like Lovecraftian chickens, guys. Come on.
You can't beat that. That's original. That's unique. You know.
It's a hell of a story in a series. I love her work. So
now I'm gonna have to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dave in chat says, "Come on, Todd. We need a KFC horror tale from you." I don't want to get sued, and besides, weren't you listening to for the last 5 minutes me telling you about my hometown? That is the horror story, sir.
Yes.
And I thought Ohio was a bad place.
Florida.
Like nothing happens there.
Florida.
No, there's alligators there. I like crocodiles and alligators. That's okay.
Well, that's
and sharks.
Well, that's the people. We're talking about the wildlife. Sorry.
The wildlife.
Hey Todd, are you really are we? I should say, are we? And are our listeners prepared for the H-bomb drop of the headliners for Tales from the Lake Volume 4?
I don't think they are. I mean, how could you really? How do
we get them
really
prepped for that?
I don't know. I mean, God, that's a good one. I don't.
Darkness imprisoning me. All I see, absolute evil.
You know, I'm really. I do have to interject here real quick. Last time, the first episode, people were really curious about what was in my suitcase. So, that's in my suitcase. case you guys didn't notice. Nobody said anything in the chat, so I feel I have to point it out now. It's a body. Right there.
I was going to say, where's the body parts? Not in the fridge?
No.
Dude, it must smell awful in there.
It smells like the first KFC.
I can see you working at KFC and going, if you could put the lotion in the bucket, that'd be great.
Would you eat me? I'd eat me.
Can you do impressions?
Wow.
I'm sorry?
Kate, can you do any impressions?
No.
No?
No.
Give us your Texas accent. I've heard it before.
No, not in public.
No? Okay. Well, we won't pressure you. I see your the little window down below, Kate, while we're laughing and stuff, and I can just see the wheels turning. You're just like, I'm never coming on this show again. Like this, I've made a huge mistake.
Why so serious?
I'm teasing though. Let's talk about Kate's story. Let's talk about your story in the anthology. Effigy, you said?
Yeah, effigy.
So,
you like me to talk about it? Or?
Yeah, I'd like you to give us like the elevator pitch. I am ashamed to say I have not read it. I haven't read anything in Volume 3 because I've had a really crazy week. I'm a bad host. I apologize.
Bad Todd.
I know. I tried to. I know. I wanted to read at least some of the stories in the Antho, so I'd have a little bit more to be able to speak on it. But I had a crazy week at the day job, and I was just dead tired.
You can read it later.
Okay, but I promise you I will read it. I swear. But kind of give us the elevator pitch. What's the story about? If you don't mind.
This is years ago, I wrote a blog about monsters from around the world, and it began because I was really sick of vampires and zombies, and so I started doing research on the various kinds of monsters that from other cultures, and I threw the main character into the story with something called a jenglot from Indonesia. And it's a little mummified doll. And in other cultures, monsters are not always good or bad. Sometimes, if you treat them right, they're going to do great things for you. But if you screw up and you forget to feed them, or you leave them in a box or something, they're not going to be happy, and they're going to get their revenge. So I wanted to find an American girl who was the least likely person to be able to take care of a jenglot and then give her one. So that was how that story came about.
That sounds really cool.
It's an awesome story.
I love that story.
So now I feel even worse for not reading it. I am so sorry.
Don't worry. There are probably lots of my stories you haven't read.
It's on my my iPad right now, so I will read that tonight and profess my love.
No, you're not. You're so tired. I can see it.
He's like, I've got it right over here.
It's like, yeah, let me just go to Amazon real quick.
Hey, it is now. It's called the cloud. Right? Everything's in the cloud, right?
Everything's in the cloud. It's all up there. So, Kate, for readers and for viewers out there who may not be familiar with all of your work, I know you mentioned you've been nominated twice for the Stoker, you've been nominated for the Shirley Jackson. I know you wrote, was it Ceremony of Flies? Is that right?
That was the one nominated for the Shirley Jackson. That's a road trip story that goes from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. A trip I've taken in a car, and there are lots of horrors out there in the desert. And Emily tends to find them. She's really good at finding the worst possible way to ever do anything. So kind of like me.
I've read it. I love it. It's like Kathy Koja and Hunter S. Thompson had a baby.
Oh shit! Are you serious? Really?
It's good. It's really good. I mean, it's so well. Kate knows how to arrest you from the first sentence, and just when you think things are going, on the up and up, then comes the dark fantasy, and you're like, "Where are we, man? Where are all these bats?" So it's awesome. It's really good. I highly recommend.
I have it on audiobook. I still need to listen to it, but it looks really good.
So it is available in audio.
It is, just recently, and the audio performance is just excellent. The performer did a great job.
Well, I have
love it.
an Audible credit that I can use, so you're next.
Excellent.
After I finish Nick Cutter's The Troop, I'll add that to my list.
Audio is just the best. I read so much more because of it. I can get things done and walk around and listen to a book. I love them.
Indeed.
You had me at, Kathy Koja meets Hunter S. Thompson. So Ben just sold you a book. So
A little bit. A little Hunter S. Thompson. More Kathy Koja.
Okay. Well, I read Koja's The Cipher a couple of years ago, and
that's an awesome book. God,
wow.
that's so good. Yeah.
Wow. That was a head trip. I
Yeah.
love the concept. So, all right,
Bram Stoker
all right, Kate,
Award.
you're on. You're on.
Yeah.
Hey, Bram Stoker again. Ben?
I'm sorry?
How do you Ben said Bram Stoker. I thought it was Bram Stoker. The
Do we have anybody
pronunciation.
who's Irish that can answer that for us real quick?
I think technically it's Bram, right?
It's short for Abraham. So
Oh.
Bram,
okay.
probably.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Sure.
because I know somebody called Bram.
Well, it's not like he's
That's
gonna,
not the whole
come
name.
to your house and be like, "You're mispronouncing my name." That'd be weird.
No, what's just an interesting thing to hear you say Bram.
There's a story idea.
Okay.
The spirit, the spirits of, all these famous authors come back to haunt somebody because they habitually mispronounce their names.
That's a good idea.
Somebody write that. I'm too busy with my own shit. So
Yeah, I'll have to pass the baton. Somebody else, please.
yeah.
I've got 2 novellas I'm working on right now, and I'm pretty busy. So, and I've got Volume 4 coming up in November 1st. So, yeah.
What is
it's gonna be great.
the submission window for Volume 4, has that just opened, or?
If you are a Patreon and you have contributed, this is yet another reason why you should become a patron. And you can go to www.patreon.com/CLP, and that is P as in Paul, A as in Alpha, T as in Tango, R as in Romeo, E as in Echo, O as in Oscar, N as in November.com/C as in Charlie, L as in Lima, P as in Papa. And you can donate. And if you donate, you can go to the website there, and guess what? Author Jasper Bark has a great video introduction to let you know what's going on, what prizes you can win. One of the prizes is that if you're a writer, you actually get to submit a month early to Tales from Lake Volume 4. I'm very happy to say that we've had some authors take advantage of that. So technically, we will be receiving some submissions in October. But in earnest, it opens November 1st, and we'll close February 1st, and so that's going to be the length.
Nice.
So how does the Patreon thing work? I've been looking into that a little. I don't really understand what's going on.
From a logistical point of view, or
Or no, when you sign up, what happens?
Well, according to each individual ones, it's really up to the press, if it's a press that does make a page, to really hand out the rewards. For example, I'm on the site right now, and it says rewards for the first 100 patrons, and I think we have exceeded that already. Patron 1 to 30 receives a free ebook copies of Tales from Lake Volume 1 and Tales from Lake Volume 2, and Horror 201, The Silver Scream. Let's see some other things down here. If you happen to be, they'll also draw some extra winners. First prize is a paperback copy of Horror 201 signed by, get ready for this, folks, Tom Holland, Mick Garris, Taylor Grant, Kevin Wetmore, Eric Miller, Billy Hansen, Stephen Johnston, and James Cullen Bursack. And James, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, sir.
Once you're a patron, what happens?
I'm sorry?
Once you're a patron, say I sign up right now, what happens then?
It depends on the donation that you make and the amount that you donate.
All right, so I gave $100.
You're going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot. You're pretty much going to get a lot.
You're going to get me editing one of your stories, basically all the ebooks, stuff like that. It's kind of big.
So what do you get for $10? Are there levels on there that are?
Yes.
Yeah, there are levels on there.
When she said, what do you get for $10? I wanted to say, anything you want.
Oh, Ben.
You, Ben.
That's a good movie. It's a good movie. Good movie. No, Monique brought up something very interesting there. Also, we just finished mentoring a new author. So this particular author, he donated some money, and he won the prize, and he was mentored by a few different writers, and I happened to be one of them, and I had a really, really fun time working with this author.
Yeah, I also, Chris Musgrave.
Yes.
Is that pronounced right?
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome writer.
Yeah. He's got a lot of potential, really.
Oh, yeah. Working with him was very easy.
And really. So we find new people through patrons.
Yep.
Through them being patrons.
It pays.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the $100 mark, yeah, I mean, we do have a video on the patron page, Kate. Jasper Bark, who's one of the CLP authors, he kind of breaks it down for you there. Yeah.
I keep hearing about it all over the place, and I just never really looked into it much.
It's a really neat.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat platform. It basically turns your, if you're a creator, it allows you to create like a subscription model with varying tiers, and if you think about it that way. Yeah, I know several artists who have, set up. They've set up their own Patreons. They'll either show, like, if you pledge $1, you'll get to, every month you get to see like a making of sketch or something like that. Joe just posted in the chat and said for $12 you get every new book that Crystal Lake publishes, behind the scenes info, glimpses at upcoming books and artwork, and access to this show, for example. Although to get access to this show when it goes live, you only have to pledge $1. That's just $1, folks. $1. So
I'll buy that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1.
By the way, there's more.
It's true.
Hi, Ben Eads here with a ShamWow. But wait.
That just gave me a really good idea, Ben. We should totally record like a Patreon-focused, infomercial-style advertisement for Crystal Lake. What do you think?
With impression.
Let's do it.
I think we should, though, because a lot of people don't know what it is, because I really didn't. So,
it was Kate's got a point, because yesterday my neighbor was playing Pokemon Go, and he thought that's what I meant.
Are you saying that we're like Pokemon, that we can just be captured?
You gotta catch them all.
You gotta catch them all. Okay.
Pikachu! Hopefully that's what our work does. You read the story and it electrifies you.
Yeah. You gotta read all the books, all the Crystal Lake books.
And only then will Pikachu appear.
Oh my god. So Joe, I know you're watching, buddy. Let us know how you feel about us doing a advertisement like that. I think that would be hilarious and a lot of fun.
And I'm sorry for ruining the show, Joe.
No, Ben did not ruin the show. So, we are coming up on the hour mark. So, probably another 20 minutes and then we'll call it. Just looking at my my program guide here.
Are we boring you?
No, not at all. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having fun. You know what?
I'm having fun.
We've talked about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the Rastafarian guy doing my name again.
Okay, this bears explanation. So we were in the hangout before we went live, and I asked Monique how to pronounce her name, her last name, and she said Snyman. And Ben, I don't remember if it was Ben said it first, but it reminding us of like a very Jamaican, accent, pronunciation. So Ben, you wanna take it away there, buddy? You got this.
Sure. It was funny because she goes Snyman, and I went Snyman everything all the time, and come on down for the horror babadoo.
Oh, wow.
And if you call Monique right now, she'll give you a free reading. The psychic.
Oh, Miss Cleo makes her come back.
Ooh, I love it.
I'm here all week, tip your waitresses.
The only thing I can do is The Exorcist.
I think we're gonna have to make Kate laugh. She hasn't laughed once. Are you okay, Kate?
I'm fine.
She's
Not
laughing
allowed.
on the inside.
Oh,
Right.
she's laughing on the inside. Okay.
Kate, I hope you are having a good time. I hope we haven't scared you away.
This is a ton of fun.
So, all right, here's one for all of you. And this actually is kind of cool because, you guys kind of speak to both writers and editors. So what advice would you give not only just young writers starting out, but young editors as well?
Who are you asking?
I
All
say
of
take
you,
up
anybody.
customer service. Just don't do it.
Kate Jones, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, Kate.
I know how to read that shit.
Kate's like, you know the slogan for Nike? Yeah, just don't do it.
Do the opposite of that. It's like, that drive that makes you want to sit down at your computer and do something creative, just don't. Just let it die.
It's all heartache and disappointment. Just forget it.
Okay,
No, I'm
So-
just kidding.
I know.
So what should they really do? Like, read a lot. Read. If you don't read and you want to be a writer, you're just stupid.
I agree.
Yeah.
And there are so many people I know that just want to say, "Oh, I watch movies and I never have time to read," and they think I'm going to read their book, and I'm not.
I mean, that is true though. It's mind-boggling how
No, but write but don't read. I can list 10 people I know that write books but never read. That's just the stupidest thing ever.
Like, I get that people are busy and that, they have to, struggle to make time just to write stuff, but I always try to make time to read something. Even if I feel like I don't read enough as it is, and I'm trying to read, every night. And even if it's for like 20 or 30 minutes, just you have to read. That's kind of how you replenish the well in some ways, especially when you're doing something creative.
How you know what other people are doing? If you're just you don't know what the current trends are. You don't know what's going on. You're lost. You can't compete in that environment unless you read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely.
See, Kate's
As a
keeping it
reviewer, I always got a lot of books, and it was fun because I did what I loved, writing and editing, and then I also got to read books, but it just got a lot of, for free, obviously, but it just got a lot, too much. I can't read at that volume anymore with everything that's going on. But about 50 books a year.
Wow.
Now.
Yeah, that's about the minimum you can do, because I don't know, if you edit, that counts as reading too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think editing a book is worth like reading 5. I learned so much from editing. I really do.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, and new editors, if they want to get into the business, not only do you need to read, but you need to learn. There are a lot of things about editing that I needed to learn from other seasoned editors. For example, I always made the mistake of passive voice. And another editor, my first editor, had to teach me about passive voice because, remember, I'm Afrikaans. And we weren't taught that in English second language in high school. So I had from scratch. There are things about the English language that you don't know as an editor, and you need to learn, you need to grow continuously.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's
not too many schools that train editors. A lot of people are self-taught. There is one University of California at San Diego has a certificate program, I believe. It's 2 years. But other than that, in the U.S., I think that might be there might be one other. But it's really not something that's taught very often.
Yeah. Even here, well,
yeah, how can I follow that?
Yeah.
How can I follow that? I have to agree with both Kate and Monique in that sometimes, like if I'm at a writing convention and someone, walks up to me, and of course there are very few exceptions, if someone is in their late 50s, early 60s, and they walk up to me and they say, I always wanted to be a writer, I want to be a writer. I hate to tell you, you're not. Okay? F. Paul Wilson made a great post. There's a great blurb in Stephen King's book on writing about it as well. You either have that compulsion, and you've had that compulsion since you were a kid, or you don't. Okay? When it comes to being an editor, I think that you do have to have that keen eye. I think that it can definitely be taught. It can be reinforced. What really helped me was I was a student of Bram Stoker Award-winning author and editor Michael Nost for about 2 years. And he mentored me in editing. He mentored me in writing. And I learned a great deal from him. But it wasn't until I was working with Kate Jones, who's on the dais, and that I really learned a lot more. And I think the more editors, like Monique said, that you mentor under, the more that you learn as an editor. Your job is to make any story can be better, okay? And the job is to make the story better. You know, a lot of people think that what we do is we just catch commas. Oh, you forgot the Oxford comma here. No, we are looking for people, not characters. We're looking for a believable world that you feel like you're in. If it's in November, if it's during the winter, you want to kind of get that freezing feeling, you know, that Ramsey Campbell atmosphere that very few people can get close to. You'd have to go all the way back to Algernon Blackwood to find that kind of, you know, atmosphere creation that's very realistic. And this goes back to being very well read. So as a writer and an editor, you have to be very well read, or you have absolutely no clue what you're doing. And I hate to say it, but I have run across 2 authors who have told me that they have not read any book ever. That they write what they write. I hate to say that they did get published. And they said that the reason why they don't read is because they're too afraid that it will get in the way of their unique voice. Here's something for you guys. There is no such thing as a unique voice, okay? You know,
I disagree with you there. There is a unique voice. But
you know, if it's unique, as in we haven't heard it in 60 years, again, it comes down to how, you know, it comes down to how well read you are. Because the more you start thinking, you know, that you have something unique, then you come across work and you go, darn it, you know. But I'm sure there's like a few exceptions, but you know, what is it? I think Kate would know. It comes down to what you have. What is it? 7 or is it 12 plot lines that every single story can resolve back to? It's what, 12 or something?
Joseph Campbell myth theory that all stories are based on
the hero's journey.
Oh no, I saw Joseph Campbell Jr. It's an actual scholaristic thing that came out like 15 years ago. I think it was like 20. Yeah, I think.
On it. But I think there are new stories. We just haven't found them yet. Our brains are.
Yeah,
so our stories are good.
Yeah, I think there's like 20 or 24, which every story can be resolved back to. Okay, and it's again, the more well-read you are, like if you read Guy de Maupassant, you know, from the 1700s, then all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, you know, that's where Stephen King got 1408 from. Then you can start to connect the dots, you know, and you can go, okay, this is where this came from, this is where this came from, this person influenced this person. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much when it comes to editing. Again, you know, what I would recommend people do if you're interested in this as a career. But yeah, you really have to be well read. I mean, at least 200 novels a year, bare minimum. And, you know, mentor.
Oh my God, many.
Even I can't do that, and I speed read.
Yeah.
Like 2 a week is about the max.
You know, and find good mentors. You know, find good mentors. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any words or things like that you miss, like as an editor? Mistakes that you miss that you need somebody else to pick up on sometimes, like a proofreaders? Or is it just me?
Yeah, I always make unlikable characters, and I need my writing group to tell me, we really hate this chick. Can you like give her something, like make her pet a puppy or something, because she's awful. I hear that every single story.
Oh my.
Nice.
And you, Ben?
I always get called out, and I'm happy for this. I always get called out for having what people call hard characters. And what that means is having characters that a lot of people are afraid to write about. Just as fiction evolves, readers evolve. If you look at fiction in the last 15 years, we've seen the emergence of, you know, new characters that are really truly reflective of the people that we meet or we pass by if we're walking downtown, you know. We've seen stories about homeless people, you know. If you read End Times by Rio Yours, okay, the main character of that book used to be a homeless heroin addict. Okay, now back in 1970, would someone dare tackle that? No. The book that I'm working on right now, I'm actually working on two, but in one of them, I have I don't want to give it away, but it's a hard character. And he also has a son that's also a hard character too. To me, I just find it as a writer a lot more interesting. I find it a lot more realistic, and I think it brings, as horror is kind of trying to make the everyday seem scary, or askew, if you will. If you can bring those hard characters out, you know, then that's a great foundation to come from.
That's a really good. What?
I'm sorry?
What about Todd? He's been quiet.
I've been listening to you guys. This is a really awesome discussion. Things that I get called out for by my editor, Amelia. I don't know if she's watching, but she'll probably catch the recording afterwards. I always get called out for, not so much anymore because I've learned from her, because you know, one thing I will add to the editor discussion, you know, from 5 minutes ago, is that, you know, find yourself a really good editor. If you're a new writer, a young writer, amateur writer, whatever, if you're new to the writing scene, we'll put it that way, find yourself a good editor and learn as much as you can from them. The best editors are going to teach you how to be a better writer. And same goes for reading. Read as much as you can, simply because, you know, you'll know when you've read something that speaks to you, it'll teach you how to do what you're trying to do in your own fiction. You may not understand it. It usually, I find in my own experience, it's those books that stay with you and you don't really understand why. So you go back and you keep reading them, and you read them and you read them and read them, and finally it'll click. Like, okay, this is how they're doing this, and, you know, from a craft perspective. Anyway, sorry for the digression, but I get called out by my editor somewhat for passive-aggressive voice, just like, you know, Monique. I do the passive-aggressive voice. Also passive voice.
I'm gonna start a campaign for Todd's stories are good stories. I'm gonna wear that T-shirt. I'll send Monique one.
Oh, come on! I'm gonna live it down.
No, I get called out for passive voice, and I get called out for overusage.
You know the trick for that, right? If you can complete your sentence with the words "with the zombies."
Oh yeah, I have heard that. Yeah. I get called out for that, and I get called out for using it too much, rather than, you know, it was this, as opposed to the night was something. You know, it's like, here I go using it. It's a very lazy way of, you know, writing. Right. You know, you want to be more direct and descriptive, and she has, in my own fiction, you know, she's basically broken me from doing that. Anytime that there's an it in my work now, it's because I chose to use that word rather than just as a fallback. And when you're a good editor is going to teach you how to be cognizant of your language as you're actually composing it. And you know, those are the things that I get called out for routinely, or not so much anymore, but I used to. God, some of the edits from my first novel were just, she's like, I'm gonna highlight every instance of it on this page, and then halfway down the page, she's like, just assume that every it is gonna be called out from here on. I'm not gonna highlight them anymore. So.
Oh man.
One thing I see a lot of is what Chuck Palahniuk calls unpacking the scene. A lot of the submissions I get will have a whole lot of information in a paragraph, and it needs to unfold in real time. And a lot of times, like the beginning of the paragraph, the guy's opening a car door. By the end of it, he's got the engine out on the highway, and the monster is eating him, and it's all over. But you need to, like, a lot of times, new authors especially tend to compress a whole lot of information, like they're taking notes or something. So, yeah, never do that.
And they forget the emotional connection sometimes. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about flaws. Shit, I'm sorry, Todd and everybody, for wasting your time. What do I get called out for flaws-wise? You can ask my editor, Kate. I think the biggest one was what, Kate? Advanced layering, right?
I forget what we had trouble with. I don't think
it was layering the themes, I believe.
We had a little bit of issue with the unpacking and just like giving the characters some heart, but overall, I think that one was pretty close when I got it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but I think we had to do a lot of layering, though. Yeah, I think that was what took me the most time, and that's when I was introduced to advanced layering, like a cake. And
what does that mean again?
It can mean a lot of things. You know, when I say that to my writer
That's
friends,
all good words.
right? It's very ambiguous.
In French.
When I say that to my writer friends, they go, "Oh, you mean having more characters? You mean having the character do more? You know, or something of that nature?" And no, it's like, for example, when a story starts and you're describing a setting, and you know you have your grandfather's musket rifle, you know, from antebellum era on the wall. There, you need to have that gun do something. You know, everything doing triple duty. Okay.
You mean an intricate tale?
I'm sorry?
It's more like an intricate tale.
Yeah.
Intricate.
Right, but much more so. Like, for example, by the end of the short story, novella, novel, the reader goes, "Oh, it was right in front of me the whole time." You know, it's one of those issues where you really want to keep the reader, and again, I asked Kate about this a few months ago, and she said that she was unaware of anyone teaching a class like this, but I really had to go back and start reading books that I knew had a lot of really good layering in them, that were full of surprises, you know, that really showed you different facets of this character to where you can have a much better arc, you know, for this character. Emotionally, the internal emotions that the character has versus the connection to the external antagonist, how that connects and how you can layer that. And, you know, that really is the bridge builder, is what I like to call it. You know, when you're stuck, or at least when I'm writing and I get stuck with writer's block, I always sit back and I go, where's my bridge, you know? And then it hits me at some point, and then I go from there and I go, oh, so that's how I'm going to connect this to. So it's actually kind of, I think saying advanced layering is the wrong way to present it. I think Monique said it best. You know, it's really when you have an integral, you know, connection with everything. So
I'm going to do a shameless plug now, but please read Muti Nation, because they are like 3 storylines that merge into one.
Oh, that's hard to do. Oh, I am looking forward to reading that, Monique.
That's why I was thinking intricate plot lines when you said advanced layering.
Yeah, she did an excellent job with this. I highly recommend it.
That's the next book on my to-be read list.
I'm writing it down.
Contribute to copy or copy.
I'm sorry?
Oh, Alfie. Ask Kate to send you one. I need reviews.
I deeply appreciate it. Sure, send it my way. I'll definitely give you a review.
Joe commented in the chat. He said to also read Story by Robert McKee for layering lessons.
Ah, good call, Joe. Good call.
So we got about 5 minutes here. We'll start wrapping things up. I do have one more question for you guys, and this is just a general reader question. What's the
before?
What?
Can we do the big reveal that we planned?
Oh shit! Sorry. Okay, we do have a big reveal. I'm gonna let Ben do this.
I'll make it really short for you, Todd. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, for the headliners for Tales from Lake Volume 4, are you ready? Readers and writers, here they come. In no order. Okay, we have Joe R. Lansdale. We have
Boom.
Damian Angelica Walters. We have Keelan Patrick Burke. We have Del Howison. And we may have, wink, wink, another one down the road that we're keeping secret from you. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
God.
It's going to be awesome.
Why is this being kept secret from me?
Because the pinky swear, and you're in South Africa and I'm here in Florida. No,
I'm jealous in South Africa too. Why am I being kept in the dark? I don't like surprises.
you didn't get the message in the group chat the other day?
No, he's keeping it secret from me as well. It's so unfair.
I'm so sorry, Monique. I want to give her a hug now.
Aww.
Yeah.
Hugs for Monique.
So we're really looking forward to seeing what people are going to submit. So if you're a writer and you're looking to submit to Volume 4, just keep in mind that you're sharing the pages with these people. Okay? So
Yeah, great.
back to you, Todd.
You know, I don't even know how I can follow that. Like, that's not fair.
Let's talk about how you killed the person in your suitcase.
Oh.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of funny. Kate mentioned Chuck Palahniuk a few minutes ago because that's where I got the foot.
Nice.
Chuck sent the... That's actually signed by Chuck. Hold on.
You know, I think there's a little bit of Chuck in all of this. Get it?
So, yeah, Chuck...
You're a funny guy.
Chuck signed
wow,
this for
did
me.
you sign it?
Yeah, he sent this to me.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
Yeah,
I love Chuck's work.
Chuck's a nice guy. So this was the only body part I had in my office that was readily available. Everything else is down in my basement in the murder room. But I wanted to like stick this in the suitcase because everybody was really curious about my suitcase last time. It just happened to be there. 3 out of every 4 questions we received was, what's in Todd's suitcase? Hashtag Todd's suitcase. So yeah.
I'll raise you a Chuck Palahniuk and give you my muse. It's made by the Japanese company Kozik. And if you look on the back, I don't know if it's coming in clear.
It's kind of blurry.
Is that a sparking rabbit?
No, this is the Jack Torrance Kozik bear, and on the back it says Red Rum, and all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So
That's
when I'm
awesome.
not writing, like if I have a flu or if I'm very ill, I'll turn his back to me, and that means write, goddammit. And when I'm writing, I put his face to me, and that kind of keeps me and my muse on the same page. So
Nice.
thank you.
So I
I
don't.
have my crochet stuff here.
Yeah. What are you crocheting?
Well, I did crochet this for this program.
Nice.
It's my Mirrorbank wrap.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm working on a secret project at the moment. That's it.
When I was in the womb and my mother was bored, she made me this frog.
Oh.
And he's so old, he's missing an eye, and he kind of broke, so she stitched him back. And my sensei gave me this really cool tiny samurai helmet that's a beer bottle opener. So I put it on top of him, and he's now Samurai Frog.
That's awesome.
And he overlooks what I write. So
I have.
And then there's the cat as well.
I'm sorry.
What did you say, Monique?
And then there's the cat as well.
Yes, that too. Gotta have the kitties.
I have one of these custom Tony Rapino sculptures here.
Oh wow, I'm so jealous.
This stuff are awesome.
Yeah.
This is the idol of the pumpkin god.
Wow, that is really well done.
And I almost dropped it.
I love these beer shows on YouTube. His beer tasting. That was awesome.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
some really good shows.
Yeah,
He
here's
had
a
unboxings and his yard sale finds.
here's one of the
And his Halloween
plaques he
show.
made.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
This is a wall plaque of 2 characters from Reality Engineers.
I love that
Wow.
story.
Oh.
I have a bag of
Wow.
hammers.
What was that,
And
Kate?
that's for
I saw the bag of
Bag of
hammers.
hammers.
and that's for Brent Kelly, right?
Yeah, tell me about the hammers. I saw you post on Facebook about the hammers, and I felt like I was missing the context.
Oh, well, doesn't everyone want a bag of tiny hammers? That's all.
I would just love to hit somebody with a bag of hammers. That would be.
I can think of a few candidates.
So can I. So can I.
Me too. Me too.
No, actually, this October, Omnium Gatherum's putting out a book called Keep Away from Psycho Joe by Brent Michael Kelly. And Psycho Joe is quite handy with a hammer. So we're going to be passing these out as little trinkets to
Oh,
promote
that's
the
cool.
book.
I
I
love.
thought
Brent
you were
Kelly's
talking
work.
about Joe at Crystal Lake for a second, like Psycho Joe.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna call you now
well, he
for
can
now.
borrow the name.
Psycho Joe. All right. Well, it is 6:30. It's been an hour and a half, so we're gonna wrap this up here.
I think it's 6:30.
Well,
12:30.
it's 12:30 for you. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna go down the line here. You can talk a little bit about what projects you guys have coming up, and then we'll call it a day. So Ben, we'll start with you. Where can people read your work?
Aside from editing Tales from Lake Volume 4, I'm looking to finish at least one of the 2 novellas I'm working on right now. One of them is for KATE, and one of them is for another press. And I'm hoping to get at least both rough drafts done before November. And then I'll have no life until February. It's an honor to be an editor for Crystal Lake Publishing on this anthology, and I'm looking forward to, in between and after, finishing these 2 novellas and getting them in shape and getting them published. One is my love letter homage to the monsters I do on Maple Street, and another one is just another, if you're familiar with my work, very out there imagination. Yeah, that's what I try to do, is really expand people's imaginations. I love Clive Barker, and he's a huge influence on me for that reason alone. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting both those done.
Nice. And do you have a website or anything where people can find you?
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking. It is www.beneadsfiction. That's Ben, and you can spell my last name. E as in Echo, A as in Alpha, D as in Delta, S as in Sierra, fiction.com.
Right on. Thank you. Kate, how about you?
Thank you.
So I have been working on a series that has been requested by an agent called Swamp Logic, set in a magical version of the Louisiana Bayou.
Nice.
So I've been hard at work at that.
The South.
And I may have a collection going to a fiction collection going to a small press. So I'm kind of excited. Tentatively, we're going to call it Lady Bits. So we'll see how that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
And my website is Kate Jones, Jones with a Z.com.
Thank you. Lady Bits. I just like saying that, Lady Bits.
Publisher's gonna like it.
Lady Bits.
Put lotion in the basket.
All right, Monique.
Okay, I'm currently working on the sequel to Mutination. If you read the first book, you'll know what's going. You know where it plays off in the second book. And other than that, I'm working on a secret project. And then there's the first drawing book I need to do, but yeah, I think I'm too old for that series now. I wanted to just disappear. Oh, and then I'm editing a lot of stuff for Joe. One by Eric S. Brown.
Wow.
And editor.
Congrats.
And thank you for that one. It's awesome. I'm like, I've not gotten far yet, but it's really good. And then I am currently also working on J.S. Rekelaar. That's not because of accent coming through, because I don't know how to pronounce the name properly. But Alethea, that's a book also. And those are mammoth books, but yeah. And apparently there's some more work waiting for me. But that's it. Oh, and you can find me at www.charmingincantations.com.
Charming incantations.
That's it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you.
Very cool.
And I am Todd Keisling. I have a website, www.toddkeisling.com. We are on Beneath our Facebook page for Beneath the Lake is out there. If you want to, if you feel so inclined, go and give us a like. You can also hit the subscribe button down below. I have a couple of books coming out with Crystal Lake next summer. And I also have a couple of novels out there as well through my own press. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So we hope you guys had a great time. And thank you to the wonderful cast and crew here. Ben, Kate, and Monique. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Hope you had a great time. And we're going to call it a day for now. So this is Beneath the Lake. Signing off. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Peace.